Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Solana. We're going to do a full update. We'll talk about some fundamentals because there is something I think you need to know and something that I saw earlier today on social media. So I checked it out regarding the fundamentals of Solana. That makes me slightly more bearish. Now, ultimately, Solana right here, like it depends a little bit on how you look at it, but ultimately Solana is actually quite stable. Obviously, we had a bearish breakdown and a bearish, bearish acceptance and a bearish rejection last week, Tuesday. So in that sense, whereas 2 weeks ago on Monday, we were still in an uptrend, or at least you could still make the argument that we were in an uptrend. At this point of time, we definitely are not. But you can see that Solana has fallen back down into the previous balance we had right here between the 22nd of April and the beginning of May, and that balance does seem to be holding, right? So I would argue on the higher time frames, yes, maybe we are in a little bit of a downtrend. On the lower time frames, we are consolidating, and then if you zoom all the way out, we are again consolidating, I would argue, all right? But yeah, so those are my thoughts in general on Solana. But the fundamentals that I wanted to talk about are the following. I've always said in my last couple of videos that I actually thought the fundamentals for Solana were quite underrated. All right, and one of the key things that I always look at for that is the following, and that's the DEX trading volumes, right? And what we saw, and which we are still seeing at this point of time, is that the DEX trading volumes are actually quite good, right? So these trading volumes we haven't really seen since January and December, which in general were great months, not only for crypto but also for Solana specifically. And Solana was trading, you know, I would almost say much higher than right now. My apologies. So that's a sign of you know, good fundamentals. But then what I saw earlier today, or at least what someone pointed to, was the following, and that was this. Right, so what you can see, so these are the top bridged net flows, right? So basically money flowing in and flowing out of networks. And what you can see is that Solana in the last 24 hours has the most negative flows, right? About $7 million flowed out of Solana in the last 24 hours. Now, I'm not sure if we can actually see these flows for a longer period of time. Yes, we can. Can we actually see the top? Can we actually see the top flows in a specific period of time? Yeah. So here you can see last week Solana also had negative flows, and then the last month I think Solana also had negative flows, right? So that's not a great development. Like the activity on Solana is actually decent, and fundamentally, if I just look at the activity on Solana, I would say we're going higher. But this is a new development, right? That we actually see these outflows from Solana. Not as bad as Arbitrum, by the way, but still from Solana. So this is something we need to keep an eye on, right? And if this continues, this could long-term be not devastating, but it could be bearish for Solana, and it could facilitate fundamentally a move down into 125 again, which is on the table, even though at this point of time it doesn't look most likely. So yeah, I think you need to know about that. I mean, when we're talking about the technicals here for Solana, I'm actually relatively positive. I'd say it's most likely that Solana, for now at least, will remain stable and stable right here between 142 and 152. And I would even go as far as saying, but that is very much based also on my expectations for the market, aka Bitcoin, that from this consolidation, it's most likely we're actually going to get somewhat of a deviation to the upside, right? So technically, I'm not very bearish on Solana right here. And I think fundamentally we also shouldn't be too worried yet, or we shouldn't overreact. But it is something you need to know about. And yeah, and hopefully it helps. And hopefully you can keep an eye on this. By the way, this website is called Artemis, if you want to keep an eye on it yourself. But I'll keep you updated on that as well. For now, those are my thoughts on Solana. Hopefully it helps. But for now, have a great week. Take care and bye.